Good afternoon, gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And I must apologize. There's been a considerable time lag between this video and the last one that was uploaded. I was bogged down in some miscellaneous commitments because of which आपके लिए मैं time नहीं दे सका इस चीज को. Now that we are back, hopefully, inshallah, we can resume it on a more regular basis. So, fellas, the purpose of today's session is to talk about the problem and solution essay, which is another very common variant of your IELTS writing module, right? This is applicable to students giving the IELTS academic as well as students giving the IELTS general exam. And along with that, obviously, we'll be doing our spellings as well as 5 words and idioms with meanings and sentences. So without further ado, let us begin. So in case some of you have gotten rusty, including me as well, right? So let's just quickly revise the basics, yeah? So problem and solution essay. So as we know, every essay question comprises of 3 things: topic, question, as well as your instructions, right? In this case, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to read the question. So the topic: every year, more and more students are shying away from campus classes in order to study online. So in the recent times, right, especially in the aftermath of COVID, right, owing to the circumstances that were exacerbated by the advent of coronavirus, right, you've seen a greater trend of online classes all over the world, be it back in Pakistan, UK, US, Australia, different countries, right? And you see the phenomena of campus classes is receding, it's diminishing, its popularity level is going down, right? Now, more and more students are going for online classes. So this brings us to our question, which is especially what we have to tackle in our answers. Number one, as you can see, a problem solution essay will always ask 2 questions, right? Number one, why does this problem arise? What is the root cause behind this transition? What is the root cause behind this issue? Secondly, they're asking you about the solution. What can universities do to attract students back to campus, right? So without further ado, let's look at our instructions. Give reasons for your answer, include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience, write at least 250 words. So, as I told you before, your problem and solution essay will be divided into 4 paragraphs. Your first paragraph will be all about, the introduction, right? And in introduction, basically, you have 3 things. Number one, the general statement, in which you talk about the main subject of discussion. Secondly, you paraphrase the background question statement. And finally, give a thesis statement, which addresses the questions and outlines your response on a superficial level, keeping it brief, and then detailing its explanation in the upcoming body paragraph that we'll look at afterwards. So our very first paragraph is going to be the introduction, and let us first of all look at the general statement. So what is actually happening? Online classes are becoming more and more popular, whereas campus classes are decreasing in terms of popularity and strength, right? In other words, we can say a general statement could be online courses are superseding campus classes in terms of popularity. I repeat, online courses are superseding campus classes in terms of popularity. ये आपकी general statement हो सकती है. Now, next up, what do we have to do? We are given a background question statement that, finding suitable synonyms, we have to rewrite in our own words, right? Using as many synonyms as possible, whereas making sure that we do not transform the original meaning of the text. So instead of every year, आप कह सकते हैं, annually speaking, instead of saying more and more students, you can say an increasing proportion of students or pupils are shying away from campus classes in order to study online. In other words, they are prioritizing online studies over on-campus classes. So this is us having paraphrased our background question statement. That is, annually speaking, an increasing proportion of students is prioritizing online studies over on-campus classes. All right, next up. We are done with the general statement. We have paraphrased our background question statement. Now, what are we left with? We're left with our thesis statement. So thesis statement will always address the question. You have 2 main questions. Number one, why does this problem arise? And number 2, what can universities do to attract students back to campus? So what we can say is this: over the course of this essay, we will explain how lack of economic feasibility is a major factor resulting in the above mentioned transition, as well as present a viable solution in the form of sponsoring of scholarships by universities in order to overcome this hurdle or obstacle or issue, problem, dilemma, whatever you want to call it. Now, let me say this one thing, fellas. There is no one cause for this problem. There is no one solution, okay? You can have your own versions of these answers, right? But it's imperative that whatever you feel is the root cause of the problem, whatever you feel is a potential solution, a potential, a feasible step in the right direction, you just have to make sure you mentioned over here. You don't need to go in depth because these details will be coming in your body paragraph, but it's important for you to tackle the question and, you know, grasp it properly. So this is us having paraphrased our this is our thesis statement. We are done with the general statement. We have paraphrased our background question statement. We have given our thesis statement. Now we are done with our introduction, okay? Now, gentlemen and ladies, we move on to our second paragraph. That is going to be body paragraph 1, right? Body paragraph 1, what happens is you introduce an idea, you explain the reasoning behind that idea, then you give a practical example on day-to-day life or based on your own knowledge or experience to back up or substantiate or verify your reasoning, right? To give a greater element of credibility to the process. And then finally, you back it up with a closing statement. Closing statements are important because they signal the transition from one paragraph to the other. When we are going from one paragraph to the other, there should be a sense of flow. There should be a sense of momentum and continuity, right? It shouldn't appear, you know, random or sporadic. The coherence band descriptor, you have to address it in this case. So what is the first idea? The first idea is a response to the first question, that is, why does this problem arise, right? So we all have our own versions of why this could be happening. I said that lack of economic feasibility. In other words, we know that on-campus classes are generally more expensive. You know, a lot of people can't afford it. So this economic feasibility factor plays a role. So introduce your first idea, and that is the reason behind the problem. Financial hurdles are playing a Herculean role, that is a very strong role in diminishing or decreasing the spark of campus life, right? Now, how does this happen? Why? Explain it. How are financial hurdles playing a Herculean role in diminishing campus life? This is where your explanation comes in. This is where you have to impart an element of reasoning. All right. So there you go. A large majority of students hailing from developing or underdeveloped countries lack fiscal resources to enroll in state-of-the-art educational institutes on account of living on or below the poverty line. In contrast, majority of the online courses are provided free of charge, or they're provided for a nominal fee, which is significantly less than the charges that are being accrued by the on-campus education system, right? Then you can give an example. A notable example is Khan's Academy on YouTube, whose lectures aim to educate children from kindergarten all the way up to high school. You're given the example. Next up, you can say, in addition, the practice saves time, right? I mean, if you think about it, if there's an on-campus class, right, you have to get ready, right? You're gonna get in the car, right? It's gonna consume your time, it's gonna consume your petrol, right? You can drive all the way to campus, then go attend the class and come back. In contrast, online class, right? You're just gonna shower, change your clothes, sit in front of your laptop, turn on the video and take your class. Well, there are a lot of people, I'm sure, who don't even turn on the video, though I would always recommend you turn it on. You need that visibility factor to bolster your learning process, right? So we have given the idea, that is the reason behind the problem. We've explained it. We've given the reasoning, then we've given a credible example. Now what happens is we need to close our body paragraph 1 before we move on to the second body paragraph. This is the closing statement. Hence, this cost-effective move is instrumental or very important in encouraging less privileged students to get educated without leaving the confines of their home. All right. Now we move on to our third paragraph, that is body paragraph 2. Same structure as body paragraph 1, but now instead of the first idea, you have the second idea. The first idea was the reason behind the problem. The second idea, quintessentially speaking, is all about the solution. Okay, you introduce the solution, you explain how that is, you know, a solution in itself, you know, explain the reasoning factor, give an example to validate it, and then you close it. Okay, so the solution. And once again, you could have your own solution to the problem. This is just me giving my own solution based on my personal experience of the matter. The solution to this problem lies in sponsoring of scholarships by the relevant universities. We have introduced a second idea. Now let's explain, okay? These scholarships would fund the students' academic ventures, including library fees, traveling fees, tuition fees, etc. Hence, campus classes would become more economically feasible for such underprivileged students hailing from marginalized communities, poor communities, right? Let's give an example to verified. For example, the offering of Albright scholarships by USA to Pakistani students played a significant role, a crucial role in equipping them with more educational opportunities. We have given the idea, we have explained it, we have given an example. Now what remains is for us to close it in order to justify the coherence bar descriptor. Hence, the move boosted the literacy rate and stalled poverty, which as a result, strengthened the campus culture in the country. Okay. After that, finally, we have the conclusion. Conclusion is just you summarizing your arguments. You don't need to bring any new code. You don't need to bring any new example. You don't need to bring any new viewpoint. What was being asked from you, the reason behind the problem and the solution. So the two ideas of body paragraphs 1 and 2, along with their reasonings, making it as brief as possible, just summarize it and you're done and dusted with your essay. In conclusion, campus culture is being currently overshadowed by the boom in online courses, primarily on account of financial hurdles, but offering of scholarships by institutes could arrest the decline of campus classes and bring them back on track once more. All right, so we are done and dusted with our conclusion as well. This, gentlemen and ladies, is your problem and solution essay. This is how it actually works, okay? Introduction, body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, as well as conclusion. Let's see what was the word count for this essay. So the word count for this essay was 300 words, which kind of shows that 250 to 300 words is like an ideal range for it. All right. At the end of the day, the quantity matters, but so does the quality. Okay. Now I'm going to read the question one more time, and then I'm going to read my essay to stretch so that you understand how it appears to you holistically speaking. That being said, your feedback, your ideas, any potential questions or reservations that you have, you're most welcome to pitch them in the comment section. Question. Every year, more and more students are shying away from campus classes in order to study online. Why does this problem arise? What can universities do to attract students back to campus? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Write at least 250 words, right? So let's begin. First paragraph. Online courses are superseding campus classes in terms of popularity. Annually speaking, an increasing proportion of students is prioritizing online studies over on-campus classes. Over the course of this essay, we will explain how lack of economic feasibility is a major factor resulting in the above-mentioned transition, as well as present a viable solution in the form of sponsoring of scholarships by universities in order to overcome the hurdle. Second paragraph. Financial hurdles are playing a Herculean role in diminishing campus life. A large majority of students hailing from developing or underdeveloped countries lack fiscal resources to enroll in state-of-the-art educational institutes on account of living on or below the poverty line. In contrast, the majority of the online courses are provided free of charge. A notable example is Hamza Academy on YouTube, whose lectures aim to educate children from kindergarten all the way up to high school. In addition, the practice saves time. Hence, this cost-effective move is instrumental in encouraging less privileged students to get educated without leaving the confines of their homes. Third paragraph. The solution to this problem lies in sponsoring of scholarships by the relevant universities. These scholarships would fund the students' academic ventures, including library fees, traveling fees, tuition fees, etc. Hence, campus classes would become more economically feasible for such underprivileged students hailing from marginalized communities. For example, the offering of Albright scholarships by USA to Pakistani students played a crucial role in equipping them with more educational opportunities. Hence, the move boosted the literacy rate and stalled poverty, which subsequently strengthened the campus culture in the country. Final paragraph. In conclusion, campus culture is being currently overshadowed by the boom in online courses, primarily on account of financial hurdles. But offering of scholarships by institutes could arrest the decline of campus classes and bring them back on track once more. So this is what a problem and solution essay basically looks like per se. Now that we're done with that, we move on to the remaining part of the drill. So we'll start by looking at 10 spellings for today. Number one, you have lament, right? Lament means to regret something, L-A-M-E-N-T. Next up, you have character, that is C-H-A-R-A-C-T-E-R. Number three, you have foundation, the base, right? F-O-U-N-D-A-T-I-O-N. Number four, animosity, deep-seated rivalry, hostility, protracted feelings of hatred between two or more groups, right, in a modern day society. A-N-I, sorry for that, A-N-I-M-O-S-I-T-Y. Number 5, you have perseverance. That is Perseverance. Number 6, you have institutions. That is Instutions. Tion in the case of singular, Tions in the case of plural. Yeah. Number 7, you have associations. That is Associations. Number 8 is legislature. Legislature. Number 9 is potency. Potency. Number 10 is dictatorship. Dictatorship. All right, so these are your 10 spellings for today. Please note them down and make sure that you keep on practicing them no matter what. After our 10 spellings, we move on to our 5 words with meaning and sentences for today. The first word that I want to talk about is lineage. All right, lineage. Lineage. Lineage means direct descent from an ancestor, to be related to someone in their family, someone higher up, right? A sentence could be, he was a Dutch nobleman of ancient lineage. Number 2, stalwart. Stalward. Stalwart. Stalwart means strongly built and sturdy, mazboot hona, loyal, reliable, and hardworking. His dedication had no bounds and he remained a stalwart supporter of the cause. Number 3, you have exquisite. Exquisite basically means to be extremely beautiful and delicate, right? The living room was studded, that is, the living room was full of, coated with exquisite jewel-like portraits. Exquisite, exquisite meaning extremely beautiful and delicate. Number 4 means hoard, that is, to stockpile something, right? Hoard means a stock or store of money or valued objects, typically one that is secret or carefully guarded. A sentence could be, the man came back to rescue his little hoard of gold. The fifth and final word for today is affix, that is AFFIX. Affix. Affix means to stick, attach, or fasten something to something else, right? Please affix your signature to the financial document. दो चीजों को जोड़ना. Please affix your signature to the financial document. So these are 5 words for today. Lineage, stalwart, exquisite, hoard, as well as affix. Next up, we move on to the final component of today's agenda. That is our 5 idioms with meanings and sentences. The first idiom I have for you, ladies and gentlemen, today is to ring a bell. Ring a bell basically means to arouse a response, right? To arouse a response. I've never met Paul, but his name rings a bell. मेरी उनसे कभी मुलाकात नहीं हुई, लेकिन उनका नाम जो है बहुत familiar है, right? So ring a bell means to arouse a response. Number 2, cap in hand, right? It's like you take off your cap like this. It's a gesture of respect. It's a gesture of courtesy. Cap in hand means in a respectful and humble manner. The social activist had to go cap in hand, begging for funds in order to rehabilitate the earthquake victims. Number 3, show and tell. Show and tell means to exhibit something for ostentatious reasons. That is for display purposes. हम कहते हैं कोई काम दिखावे के लिए करना. Julian caught black snakes and took them to school for show and tell. Julian caught black snakes and took them to school for show and tell. Number 4, the whole ball of wax. Number 4, the whole ball of wax. Whole ball of wax means everything, okay? When, the principal, is calling a student saying, you know what, give me the whole ball of wax. I think you pitch the whole story to me, okay? Whole ball of wax means everything. Sentence could be, there's nothing more to tell you. That's the whole ball of wax, as in that's everything. Number 5, helter-skelter. Helter-skelter basically means in disorderly haste or confusion. In disorderly haste or confusion. Some 200 people ran helter-skelter randomly in different areas, right, when the police raided the locality. Some 200 people ran helter-skelter when the police raided the area. So, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being very patient listeners. Right? So today we talked about idioms, words, meaning, and sentences, along with spellings, and more importantly, we dissected the art of decoding, problem and solution essays. So inshallah, see you in the next class. Thank you very much. Once again, if you have any questions, please feel free to pitch them to me. Take care and stay blessed. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.